Well, welcome everybody. George Hedley here again to help you think about how to maximize your markup in the improving economy. Today we're going to have two different part one and part two. We're going to start right now with part one, where we're going to talk about strategies and how to win more customers. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to move into specific strategies in part two. So part one, seek higher margin customers and contracts so you can improve your markup. All right, so let's get going. And as I said, we'll have this posted up on YouTube for you to follow later. Or you can always email me questions, and I'll be glad to talk to you or share ideas with you. All right, so here we go. Thanks for being here today. And oh, by the way, this is changing economy. When I sent this out, the economy was flat, and then it got strong, and now it's went down, and then it's going back up. So who knows what we're doing now. So anyway, we're going to call it the changing economy, right? Okay. So as you know, George Hedley, I started my construction business many years ago, I can't remember. It's been so long, 40 years ago plus. Building industrial and office buildings, had my own concrete crews, et cetera. But along the way, I started coaching and consulting and spoke at World of Concrete quite a few times, 20-something years in a row. And currently I have quite a few clients that I help with their businesses one-on-one and in person. And I wrote a book, which you can get on Amazon. It's still there. It's still one of the top sellers under construction business. So just look it up and go get it. And it's got basically most of my Biz Builder blueprint in there step by step. So hopefully you'll check that out if you already have it. And here we go. So let's talk about what changes I have to make to maximize my markup. If I keep doing business the same way, I'm not going to get better. So what do I have to do to get better? That's the purpose of today. And I'm going to throw out a lot of ideas. I mean, at least 100. And you probably can't take notes as fast as I'm talking, but you can watch this again and again anytime you want. So there we go. And many of you have heard me say many of these things, and some of these things are new I created for today. All right, so there you are out on the job site trying to figure out what to do, where to go, how to improve, how to go faster, how to make more money. And that's why we're here. That's your goal, to figure out how to improve our bottom line, right? And whether you call it margin, markup, I really don't care. It's, I ask people, how much money you make? They always say not enough. I go, well, what was your taxable income this year? And they go, I don't know. Well, then if you don't know, who knows? Why are you in business? To make money. Well, you got to know what your goal is, right? So we got to know. And if you're a head coach, you're real clear on what your goal is. Now, what happens in football, and I've told you this story before, what happens in football if you're losing? You got to change. What happens if you're breaking even? You got to change. Low margins are not acceptable. Y'all take too much risk, work too hard, take too many chances to basically make 1 or 2%, 3%, or even zero net profit. I don't care what the economy is. It's just too hard and too much energy to work for really low return on time, return on energy, return on your investment of your company, right? So that's what we want to do. We want to change the plays and try new things to get to the next level, right? So that's what I want you to think about today is what new plays and what new strategies must I call to get to the next level, right? So as we think about our future, I want you to think about, what am I doing that works okay, but could be better? Most of us get comfortable at the same level, doing the same things over and over again and hoping for different results. That doesn't work. So what are you doing to get a win the championship? You watch the football players, they call bold play. They call new plays, try new plays, new players, new tricks, new systems, new strategies. What are you doing that's new, different? And I have a lot of clients I meet with one-on-one. I have these peer groups, hard hat biz groups. We have about 15 to 20 people in a group. We meet twice a year, and we help each other with accountability and new ideas and challenges and changes. And it's amazing to me how many people are content making low margins and not improving and not growing. And what happens when you don't grow and you don't try new things, you get stuck. And you get stuck in a rut doing the same things over and over again, and of course, expecting different results. You'd get fired as a head coach of a football coach. a team. But as a business owner, you don't fire yourself. You just keep working more and more with less and less return. So that's not acceptable. That's not what we're trying to do here. So let's talk about the economy. I know it's up and down. It's crazy. It's going up. It's going down. Every day it's a new headline. It's tariffs. It's no tariffs. It's China. It's Korea. It's, technology, AI, all these things are crazy and happening so fast. Manufacturing, all these factories are coming into the United States, going to build huge facilities. There's so many opportunities on the horizon. What are you doing to generate tons of revenue and profit from the new economy, the new horizons, the new opportunities out there? So for you, the question is, what's your future? You write your future. You have a blank sheet of paper in front of you. It might look like this, and it's just blank. And, it's blank. And if it's blank, what are we going to put on it? Where do you want to be in 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years? What do you want to have? You want to have higher margins, or do you want to have more work at the same margins? Do you want to make more money, or do you want to make the same? It's your choice. If you're comfortable making what you're making, that's fine. I'm not going to pick on you. I have a few clients that are happy, but I'm not happy for them because I see what's happening. Over time, their net goes down as overhead goes up. An economy, the inflation was 10, 20% several years in a row. And if you didn't grow, you thought you were doing okay. Well, you didn't, because the economy with inflation, you went backwards. So what's your future? What are you doing to make it better? That's the hard part. That's what we're going to talk about for a few minutes today. What are you doing to make your economy better, or the economy better for you? What new customers and targets, what new strategies and field productivity techniques are you implementing? What are you going to do to make it better? Or you can just accept that it's going to get worse. And if you don't do something better, different, new, you're not going to get any better. So what do I have to do in the economy? Will your strategy be the same as it was over the last 5 years, 3 years, 10 years? If you're hoping to do business the same way over the next 3 or 4 months, years, you're going to go backwards. You're going to get worse. So what do I have to do? So we're looking for new ideas today to help your bottom line, maximize your markup. And so what we have to do is realize that effective leaders encourage and embrace continuous change. So I want you to think about, what are you going to change and what are you going to improve? And what really, really bothers me at my peer group meetings and with my clients is when they commit and then they don't do it. They really don't commit. They talk about, here's what I'm going to try to do. Try is not a goal, a strategy. If I don't really commit, it doesn't happen. Just quit talking. Get over it. It's not going to happen unless you commit, right? So comfort is not your goal. We want to be uncomfortable trying new ideas and new things. And change is hard. People avoid pain, the pain of change. And so what do I have to do? I have to continually move my flag to a higher level, make changes, make adjustments. I got to stop settling for less than I really should make. You're not making enough. How could you make more? I have some clients that make 3 and 4% and at 50 million, and I have other clients that do 50 million and make 10% net. What are they doing you're not? I have some clients doing 20 million, making $1 million, and I've got other clients doing 40 million and making $1 million. What are they doing that you're not? Why are they making more money? Why are they not bidding cheap work and you are? Why do you have to continue bidding low bid commodity work? What can you do to get out of that rut into a profit rut, a profit flow, a profit funnel, right? And so I have to try new strategies, take some risks. I have to accept reality. The reality is it's hard. And I got to stop. Oh, I'm so sick of, the economy. What do you think, George? You think it's going to go up? What do you think I should do? Do you think I should sell my equipment? Should I hire anybody? No, you should look in the mirror and say, let's get going, pal. Let's move it, right? And so what do I have to do? I got to stay positive. I got to keep looking for the good and to be proactive. In certain economies, The economy is great. How do we get it better for you? Well, you can't keep doing what you've done and hope it gets better. You know, a rising tide lifts all boats. Well, it's relatively flat. How do you get your boat to rise if you're not doing anything? So I got to keep moving to a higher level. So we look at the economy, and the economy is kind of like this outside circle. It's the blue outside circle is the total capacity of all your competitors in the market and the type of work that you do. The total market is always less than the number of competitors. Now, in certain industries and certain kinds of projects, there's only a few people that can do it. But in most construction markets, there's always more people that can do the work. So you are relatively unimportant as a provider of services. You're just another provider. You're just a commodity. You're just like, what's your price? So what do I have to do to get beyond that? Excuse me, I'm sorry. So you take your look at your company. How do we make our slice of the pie get bigger? How do we get a bigger slice of the pie? And so what I have to do is look at the economy. It's tough. It's dog eat dog. What do I have to do to get beyond my pressure? Oh, it's so hard to get this good work. These customers won't return my call. There's too many competitors on this bid list. Yeah, that's because there's no pre-qualifications required. You're going for the easy work, not the hard work. Hard work is where there's money. The harder the customer, the harder the client, the harder the job to get onto the list, the less competitors. Why do you think certain federal jobs have only 3 bidders? And those guys all make money because it's hard. You don't want to do all the paperwork. You don't want to have a quality control inspector, whatever it takes. You don't want to have a certified people who are within the security requirements and drug testing. So what do I got to do? As my customers, high margin customers demand more. And so what's your goal today as you're sitting here today? What is your goal? What do you want to happen over the next several weeks? Do you want to be the same? Do you want to be better or do you want to be worse? Do you want results to go up or down? Well, everybody wants the results to go up. Well, what are you going to do to make them go up? That's what I want you to think about. Are you going to stay at the same level with the same strategies, the same people, the same technology, the same systems? Well, that won't improve you. You've got to do something better. Are you going to hope and wait? You know, just sit on the sidelines and hope things get better and keep bidding cheap work. What are you going to do? You got to do something, right? And whatever you're doing, you're on this workshop webinar because you want to make higher margins. Well, you can keep doing what you're always doing and hope you make higher margins, but it ain't going to happen. If you're not in the upper 10, 20% of the margin makers of all contractors, what do I have to do to get there? I have to do something better, right? And so, I got to change. What am I willing to change to maximize my markup? So let's take a step back, slow down, take a breath, and think about what it takes. I got to do something different. I'm going to have to improve. I'm going to have to try some new ideas, which are hard. Oh, hard. And we're going to have to commit. The key word here is commit to change and disrupt the status quo. If I keep doing, I'm always doing, nothing's going to happen. In fact, I woke up this morning telling myself, I got to start doing this more. There's a few things in my life I wish I was doing better, and I'm going to start working on them today. You can hold me to that. You can hold me accountable for that. Give me a call and we'll talk, right? So why do companies get stuck or don't improve or fail? They go out of business. The number one reason is the owner won't try new ideas and won't change. They resist change, or they try it and it's hard, so they stop. What about you? Are you willing to commit? Number 2, the owner is in control of everything. They don't let go. They don't trust other people. They don't delegate. The number one indicator of growth in companies is the ability to delegate and build a team that runs the business. Well, if the owner is controlling everything, who wants to work for that guy or gal? Nobody wants to work for a control freak micromanager. Number 3, a lot of contractors really don't know their numbers. I always, when I coach them on the phone or on the Zoom or face to face, I say, would I hire you as the president of your company if you can't tell me your margins, your markup, your overhead, your job cost, if you don't really know your numbers? I wouldn't hire you. No way. You're in charge of your numbers. That's why you're in business. If you don't know your numbers, what's the point? And then another real problem is we win work via low bid on open bid lists. Anybody can get on an unlimited bid list, city, public, companies, retail stores, whatever, tenant improvements, a lot of low bid work. Anybody can get on the list. You just got a wink and a nod and you're on the list. And there's too many competitors who don't know how to run their business. They're not professionals. What do you expect? The only way to win a job is if you're stupid low, especially if there's 6, 8, 10 competitors. What's your bid hit win ratio? If it's less than if it's worse than 1 out of 4, you're on the wrong list. You're doing the wrong thing. You're on the list with all the other low bidders. And the only way to win a work is leave something out, right? Number 5, you won't hire, delegate, or let go. And you won't hire the top, meaning you're unwilling to pay top dollars for the top people. Top people in this market are very expensive and require full benefits. They're not cheap. You want the best or you want average? Average is a little cheaper, but it's not worth the difference in pay. You got to be paying at the top of the market, and you got to hire for the future. You don't hire based on what you need today. You hire based on, building capacity to do better work, higher margin work, more technical work. Number 5, we don't have any loyal customers. How do you get loyal customers? You go out and meet with them and take them to lunch and take them to the ball game and spend time with customers. You're dating them. What are you doing about that? Most people say, well, I'm trying to spend more time with my customers. Well, did you do it? No, but I'm trying. Well, no, you're not. You're talking about it. Talk's cheap. Show me the money, man. 7. And there's that, and right along with 6, there's no proactive sales and marketing plan. You don't know anything proactively to promote your company except bid. So what are you doing to be proactive, and what are you doing to get unstuck and moving to the next level? So you've got to take a risk. You've got to continue to do what you need to do. It's you. You lead the troops. And you continue to be the CEO, chief everything officer, and you're stuck because you're in charge. The results are because of you as the chairman, the president, the manager of your business or your department. The results are because of you. If you're accepting low margins, it's because you accepted low margins and you're not willing to do what's necessary to get to the next level. So what happens is people come on a webinar, call me, hire me, go to a workshop, whatever they do, read a book, and hope for a silver bullet. One little module of wisdom will change their life. Well, I can tell you right now, if you want to improve your field productivity, you're going to have to track job costs by labor hours starting Monday and have a report to every foreman in their hands and face-to-face review it with them every Monday. If you're not willing to do that work and invest in that process, you're never going to improve your field productivity. Now, I've told people that for years. They still don't do it because it's hard. It requires work. It requires change. I got to get the supervisors and foremen on board with it, and they push back. So what do I have to do to get them to do what I need to do, what they need to do? So improvement takes hard work and change. You got to be willing to commit and don't give up, right? Don't give up, or you're not going to make the big leagues, right? So everybody knows construction, and my philosophy is number 1, to be a builder of a successful business. Number 1, you got to know what you want. So how much profit do you want? What'd you make last year? How much you want to make this year? Is it more? Yeah, how much more? 25, 50% more than last year. Or if you did 10 million, how much do you want to make? 10 million at 5% gross margin is what? 500 grand pre-tax net profit. Is that what you want? What do you want? If you don't know what you want, how are you going to get there? And then once we know what I want, then I can have goals and I can have plans to achieve what I want, results, targets, and goals. And then I have to commit to do it. I'm not going to say the economy pulled me backwards. I'm going to make a goal to grow, make a goal to improve my profit. And then I have to do what I have to do to implement it. That means what? New customers, new people, new software, work harder, focus on sales versus, micromanaging my crews. I'm going to have to track and make progress towards what I want. So really, what do you want? You come to this webinar hoping for a silver bullet. It ain't here. I'm just going to give you a whole bunch of ideas that you have to then go back and commit to do based on a goal and a tracking plan, right? And so when I was building my business, it was me, myself, and I had to decide what I needed to do next. And so what do I have to do? So, and I was the complaint department, and you're trying to balance everything, put it all together, and you're burning the candle at both ends, and you're balancing and circus act and putting out fires and all the things. And, does it return you a profit? No, because you're too involved in the do rather than the win and the get. If you're the doer, nobody's getting the work, getting higher margin work. So you either do or you get. You either do the work or you win higher margin work. That's what I have to focus on. And so when you get all stressed out and you're working hard and it's not happening, look in the mirror. It's because you're focused on the wrong things. You have to make a commitment to do something different. You can hope, stay put, do nothing different. That's the easy route. And a lot of smaller contractors are very happy making a living and doing okay. That's okay. That's great. But I don't think that's why you're here today. Or number two, you can sit and wait and hope it gets better over time. Maybe the new economy, the new president, maybe everything will work out. Maybe we'll all get rich by doing the same thing. Or number three, you can commit to change, improve, and do things different. So what do you really want to focus in on? So in order to do that, here's some nuggets. What are you going to do about holding people accountable to produce results and meeting their deadlines? I find the number one problem with a lot of people that I work with is they just don't know how to hold people accountable. You just hold them accountable. You don't let them off the hook. You go sit with them and force them to do it. You train them, you mentor them, you coach them, you take time. You're the reason that they're not meeting the deadline because you're allowing it. And they don't have clear understanding of what's expected. So we got to look at our talent. We got to top grade it, upgrade it. Our talent, we got to hire better people. We got to let go of the deadbeats, dump the duds, as I like to say, and we got to delegate and let go. It's the only way you can ever get to the next level. You're going to go seek higher margin work. You're not going to do the higher margin work. You can't do that you can't go seek if you're doing. And I got to know my numbers. I got to have a real clear picture. I got to meet with my bookkeeper once a week for an hour and go through everything. And then I got to have my estimates accurate. So many times I meet with a client and I say, what do you usually mark up your jobs? 25%. Well, how come your P&L you only made 15? Well, we slipped a little here and there and their labor was off a little and equipment was a little higher and I forgot this. Are you accepting that? How could you accept less than perfect? Production rates are wrong. You missed stuff. You didn't have enough material in your bid. I mean, come on, that's your job. Accuracy is not that hard if you just do what you need to do. And then what happens is we have margin fade. Our bid, we want to make 20 grand, we make 10 or 15 or add a zero. And why? Because we allow people to show up late, work too many overtime hours, not hit the goals. We allow it to happen because we don't manage them very well. We hope they do well. Well, hope is not a strategy, right? And then we bid cheap work against too many competitors. So we just keep lowering our price and hope we get some. I was at our meeting a few weeks ago and I had one guy in there with a bid hit win ratio. He gets 1 out of 20. What are you, nuts? What are you doing? Bidding against, winning one job out of 20. It should be 1 out of 4 or 5. Even in a tight economy, it should be 1 out of 5. Not 1 out of 20. I used to say if you're more than 1 out of 10, you might as well just close the doors. You don't know what you're doing. You have no competitive edge. You have no competitive advantage. And lastly, I got to go out and find better customers with higher margin work that are not going to bid it to 12 bidders. So what are you going to do about it? So anyway, so what's your decision? This is my little pep talk part. We're going to get into the meat here in a second. But what's your decision? What happens is people call me. They want me to help them. So we sit down and we decide where they currently are and where they want to be. And so we make a plan, their current results versus what they want. And then we put in a plan to achieve it. And this is where things go bad. They do it for a while, then they go back to their old ways because it's hard. Positive change is hard. And this is what I call the leadership effectiveness gap. Either you're a strong leader or you're not. And all I have to do is look at your P&L to tell me if you're a good leader or not. Just show me your P&L and show me over the last 3 years your growth and how much your profit improved and et cetera. There's so many things to look at. So that's what I want you to think about. You can continue to do business the same, or you can decide to do business different. Not decide, commit. And so what do I have to do? It's your decision every day. You decide when you come in the door in your office, am I going to do something better, or I'm going to keep doing what I'm always doing, which is total chaos, a nightmare, a mess, people flailing, not hitting my numbers, jobs late, deadlines missed, materials forget to get ordered, whatever it is, right? And so what I have to do to get to the next level, that's what I want you to think about. Decide and commit. Decide and commit. Do or don't. Quit saying you're going to try. You're either going to do it or you're not. Do it or you're not. Just get over it. Quit going home. I got to start doing this better. Well, then do it. Don't talk about it. Just make it happen. So it's a yes or no. It's a yes or no. It's simple. And so when I get a call, help, George, can you help me fix my business? Yeah, sure. That's what I do. I help you. So we're going to lay out a plan for the future. And then you have to do it. I'm not going to do it for you. I can give you the tools. I can tell you what you should work on first and how to fix it. But you have to fix it. I'm not an employee of yours. I'm a consultant, a mentor, a coach. I'm a trainer. I tell you how to do it right. And so what happens is people hire me. I've noticed during the last 6 months of the economy, I've had a lot of clients call me, and we got started with the program. They were stuck in doing the same thing, and they go, help. And so then the recession hit, or we're recovering from COVID or whatever happened. And all of a sudden, maybe it's a little better now. And then I want help. So what do? I make a decision to start an improvement program, a coaching program of some sort. And so they hire me, or you hire anybody you can, and who's a good construction business coach. And you get started on a road to improvement with new ideas, new tactics, new strategies. And then you get comfortable and you stop improving because it's hard. This is not a 6-month program. This is a lifetime program of winning and getting better. You're always improving. I'm not young anymore, and I'm still looking for new ideas to cover with my clients. And a reality sets in. Change is hard, and it creates a roadblock, improvement roadblock. So what happens next? We give up and we go back to our old ways, and you just stop avoiding the pain of change. If you continue to keep going with a commitment and somebody to help you, that's why I like our mastermind hard hat biz groups, because everybody sits around and holds people accountable. Last meeting was unbelievable. There's a few guys in the group that just sit there and it's the same thing every meeting, literally 6, 7, 8 years in a row. And somebody finally said to a couple of guys, hey, you've been saying this for the last 4 years. When are you going to do something? It was really a kind of a come to who meeting. And hopefully the several people have figured it out. I have a couple of people that was 5 years of that. Finally, now their business went from 5 million to 20 million in 2 or 3 years with really high margins, because they finally said enough's enough. I'm going to do something. So what do you need help with? What do you need someone to hold you accountable for? if you don't have an accountability partner, you're on your own. You need a coach, somebody who'll motivate you and move you to the next level and encourage you. You need to be in a group of people that want to help you and want to see you grow and improve. That's the beauty of groups. They're so great. And so where's the wisdom? Success is not built on what you hope to do. Let that sink in. Might do, should do, or want to do. You got to do it. Don't settle. Successful leaders have confidence to stand alone. You're alone. Nobody wants to change except for you. Courage to make tough decisions. Let go of the slugs. Get rid of them. And never-ending drive to do what's required. What's required to reach your goal? It's tough decisions every day. And lastly, whether you think you can or can't, you're right. You either think you can or forget it. You ain't going to do it, right? So where are you? What are you going to actually do different and commit to hit your sales and profit goals and your margin goals, which is why you're here? Okay, so what are some choices? What are some choices to win more work? Let's talk about winning higher margins, winning more work. Let's go after good work. Let's cover that, and then we'll cover field and project management productivity, those kinds of things. So let's start with how to get more higher margin work. Well, we all know you got to do more than just hope it comes in, right? So we got to bid more jobs against too many contractors. That's a choice. You can just bid more jobs against low bidders. Or you can lower your job costs. Now, I don't know how you're going to do that. Everybody's working pretty darn efficient. You can get a little better, but not enough to win a lot of work. You can cut your overhead. You can cut your profit markup. That'll really make you successful, won't it? It'll keep you busy, keep your crews busy. Well, my goal is not keep my crews busy. I want to have great people and great crews, obviously, but that's not my ultimate goal. I got to think about what I really want. I really want better customers is what I want. I don't want cheap work, keep my crews busy. I want better customers so I can do less work and make more. That's what I really want. I can do 10 million at 10% or 20 million at 5%. It works out the same. I'd rather do the 10 million. It's much easier to run a smaller company with more markup. Well, how do I do that? I got to get out of the public arena bidding cheap work. Or what? Or what? What are we going to do? I can hope and wait. I can try nothing new. Or I can make a decision to increase profitable sales. I got to go out and get them. I got to get out of my office, out of my chair. I tell people, get out of your chair and go see your customers. Well, I'm busy. Well, then accept mediocrity. I got to get some good customers that give us a lot of work at reasonable, good markups. I got to find customers that have a very high barrier to entry. That's where the money is. Now, some companies require a safety certification, require a quality control person on site, require drug testing, require high security clearances, require certain levels of professionalism. Those separate the men from the boys or the girls from the women who are going to get the higher work, better work. And I got to focus. I got to be known as the best in what I do, my expertise, what I do different than anybody else. Anybody can bid minimum per plans and specs and just go put drywall on a bunch of studs. Anybody can do that. I want to be the expert in medical technology laboratory work. I want to be the expert in fill in the blanks. And if I'm not known as the best, I'm just another bid. So what do I have to do? That's some marketing, that's some sales, that's some additional employees who have stronger expertise, etc. And I could give you 6 examples of what I've done in that area to improve my bottom line. And then I've got to be more aggressive with my bids and follow-ups and proposals. I can't just send in a bid and hope they call. I got to be more. I got to get out of my chair and go see them and negotiate with them and convince them why they should use us. You can't do that with a piece of paper with a bunch of words on it and numbers. So what are we doing? And what choices are you going to make to win higher margin work with better customers? Right? That's the key. Those are the questions. So, but if I look back, step back and realize more jobs won't fix my business. What will? More markup. If I'm busy, what happens when you're busy and on low margins? You know, unless you win more work at high margins, more low price work requires what? More stress, more pressure, more chaos, more people, more cash, more retention, accounts receivable, more line of credit, more overhead, more project management, more supervision, more workers, more trucks, more equipment. Just getting stressed out thinking about it, and more risk. The more you do requires more. Now, but I'm not saying you don't need more to do more. That's obvious. But when you're bidding at low prices, you have one bad job and the whole world blows up, and now you're looking for real money. Somewhere you got to find some money. Sell your house, sell your truck, I don't know what you got to do to find another 100 grand to pay for a bad job, or a million, or whatever it is, right? And so fix yourself, fix your company. And so another thing we got to live by in this economy, especially over the last several years and look like into the future, there's so much uncertainty in the economy. We're not sure if and when these jobs are ever going to start. Just because you bid a job doesn't mean it's in your backlog. When's it in your backlog is when you break ground and you actually start work. So stop counting on every job's going to start. It ain't. I did a survey of all my clients, I got about 50, 60 in my peer groups and another 20 on one-on-one counseling and coaching. It's about a third. About a third of the work never starts, or it gets pushed till next year. So what's your number? What's your number? It's about a third. Or they get delayed, the permits don't come in, they don't get a loan, especially when the loans are a little higher than they used to be. The bids don't, the lenders are a little more conservative in the economy that's happening. So to hit your same sales goals with lower margins, you have to bid a lot more work. One of my clients hired a whole nother estimator. He's bidding twice as much. He's coming out of it okay, but he's doing a lot more work at low margins, which he's happy. I'm not, but he is. Hey, he's not doing bad. I'm not going to pick on him. He's a good guy, great guy. Or I can seek higher margin work. Now, you can still bid the cheap stuff while you spend time finding better work. So let's do a little report here. Let's do a little P&L here. So the left column is what you normally do. You do $2 million in overhead. You want to make a 50% return, which is the national average, which means you want to make $1 million profit. So if you do $2 million overhead, you need to make $1 million. So overhead and profit needs to be around $3 million. And if your average markup's 20%, that converts to 16.7% gross margin. That means you got to do 18 million in sales. Divide 3 million by 0.167, it's 18 million. And if you just divide your overhead by 0.167, you got to do 12 million just to break even. You don't make any money until you do 12 million in revenue. So what happens if okay, it's a tight economy, what are we going to do? All right, so let's cut our overhead to get rid of a couple people, lower our profit goal down to 700 grand. So we want to make 2.5 million instead of 3 million. That's quite a big drop. And let's say we cut our overhead and profit markup down from 20 to 15, which is a 13% margin, which means I still got to do 19 million in sales, more than I did at 18. And my break even's 13.8. So I'm not any better. I got to do the same or more to hit and I'm going to make less money. Now, in economy, you got to cut, okay, but it doesn't mean you do less. You got to do more to get to the same level. To hit your $1 million profit, you would have to do another 5 million. 5 million, you have to do 25 million to make your profit goal. So let's say we want to take it to the next level. So we want to make the left column, we want to make 18 million in sales. Now, let's say 66% of those jobs will start. A third won't. So now you got to do 2 million for to get the same profit. You got to win 2 million for because, 6 million is not going to start this year. So if our win ratio is 1 out of 5, I'm going to have to bid $120 million worth of bids. 5 times 24 is 120, which works out to 10 million a month roughly. So let's go to the second column where we're bidding cheaper. We're still only getting about a third of them starting, which means I got to do 26 million. Now my bid hit ratio is going to be worse because I'm bidding against more competitors who are looking for more work at lower prices. Let's say I drop down to 7-1, which means I got to do 185 million in bids, which is 15 million a month in bids. Well, my estimator can't do 15 million. He can barely do 7 to 8, and he's got to do 10 now. So where am I? I got to know my numbers. I got to look at my business like an accountant. All right. So here's your choices. I can cut my overhead. I can get rid of the dead wood. I can lower my job costs, improve production. That's hard. I can reduce my field workers and sell some equipment. Well, I'm going to still have to sub out the work. I'm going to lower my markup. That's not a very good idea. I can just bid a lot more work. Well, that's one way to double the work and make the same. That's okay if you're willing to do that and you have the people. I can attract more lowball subs and suppliers. Well, that's hard. I can hope and wait. Or what? Diversify. Now, diversification takes time. Diversification takes, it doesn't happen in 5 minutes. But I got to start looking for new customers, job types, and services. I tell a lot of my clients, why aren't you working in the federal markets? Well, it's hard. Yeah, that's where the money is. Most people who work the federal markets, the Army, Navy, Air Force, FBI, even the railroads, even the power companies, not the utility companies, but the power, nuclear power, the ports. That's where the money is. It's not in bidding drywall and tint improvements and T-bar ceiling and putting a bathroom in some office building. There's no money in that. That's cheap work. It's commodity. Anybody can do it. Truck in a truck, right? So I have to look for better work. Who else could you work for? I have a client in the East Coast. He only does service and repair work for the water companies. When somebody bangs into a hydrant, they go fix it. He's got 6 crews. That's all they do every day. And it's all cost plus high margin work. Well, I don't really want to do that. It's like night work. Okay, keep doing what you're doing and make no money and quit complaining, right? So anyway, here's the economy literally as of 2 days ago. Now nobody's figured in. So this is as of early 2025, 26. So everybody's projecting higher volumes. These are total volume starts and spending, and total is the black line, but the non-residential is the blue line. You can see it dipped a little bit a year or two ago, but then it dipped a little bit during the economy and the election and all that. But then it's coming back. You can see they're looking for steady growth, whether it's residential, non-residential, or civil streets, roads, bridges, the orange line. So you can see we're going to have steady growth. So the question is, are you going to keep doing what you're always doing? Or are you going to seek higher margin work? It's your choice. It's your choice. And so if I look down the official list, we got educational, healthcare, apartments, amusement, commercial, retail, warehouse, lodging. You just got to take 5 minutes, go online and look for these numbers. Just type in construction spending forecasts, and you can see where the money is. And the money is in, one company saying data center, tech, manufacturing, religious, safety, those are all going up. Apartments and others are going down. Warehouse, lodging's going down. Offices going down. I mean, go where the money goes. Don't be stuck in a rut with your blinders on, right? So what do I have to do? To prosper, I need to accept low margins, doing what you do now, or stop bidding low price and bad jobs. Now, you got to keep doing what you're always doing, so you got to keep the doors open, but then we got to have a plan to get better work, right? So we must innovate, change, and disrupt the status quo. Okay, so we have to do and be more than a low bid contractor. We have to attack high margin new customers that we can convert to loyal, that only use us. Maybe I'll get 1 out of 3, that have a lot of regular ongoing work. The one-timers, kind of a thing of the past. I got to seek new jobs and services. I got to find those better markets and go after them. If what you're doing now ain't working, you got to get out of that and do something different, right? I got to improve my business model. I got to have better technology, better people, better structure, better org chart, better job descriptions, better meetings. I've got to do something. I got to get some help to build a better, profitable, high margin business. Number 4, for first item, I got to focus on my expertise. What are you known as the best in your marketplace? You're cutting edge, you're high tech, you're known for what? If you look at the winners of these big data centers, they all are known for what they do. They're not known for bidding anything to anybody. They're focused. Got to seek high talent, best talent, people who are accountable. I got to hold them accountable, people who fit within our core values. And lastly, I got to find customers who want us based on our professionalism, our excellence, our reputation, our team, our training, our certifications. Some of my best clients are very focused on the kind of work they do, and they're the ones who make the highest margins. Some of them are in medical. Some of them are in on Army and Navy bases and Air Force bases. Some of them work for the veterans. Some of them work in FBI facilities. Some of them work for very exclusive high-end hotels like, Ritz-Carlton or something like that versus, all the low-bid hotels. So what are you going to do different and do better? So we got Michael Jordan, don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. Well, I don't like the word try, but not to do. I should change that, make my own. So if I don't have his reputation, right? So what are some plans we can do to prosper in a stronger economy? I need a business plan that takes me to that level, that focuses on attracting higher margin work. If I just keep pushing hard, bidding the same stuff, I need an improvement plan. I need help creating and drafting that. That's what I do. I help people. I call it the PIP program, Profit Improvement Plan. We come in and we work with you and we get your profit from 2% to 7% by focus on new ideas, new markets, new strategies, new systems. You got to know your numbers. We got to have a great, strong controller who's a construction professional, not just a bookkeeper. You need someone to help you, a partner in your business, to help you manage your numbers, somebody who knows construction. We got to get rid of the losers, the duds, the slugs. We got to build capacity with great people to grow. So what are you going to do? You have an org chart, which is clear, the line of command, level of authority, and job descriptions that are enforced, just like our systems. We got to get that field production up with job cost tracking and incentives to hit the goal. No incentive, who cares? I need to have incentives in place based on man hours. You're in the man hour business if you have crews. I got to have top talent, experience, and you meet our values. So I seek people with great talent, great experience, and will live within our core values. They're not jerks. They're not idiots. They're professional, and we give them assistance. So they're not doing the grunt work. They're doing the important work. And I pay top dollar. And then I, as a manager, have to manage my direct reports. Every manager has to manage one-on-one the people they're responsible for. They have to meet every week, and then they have to delegate to them. And we don't do that. And then I can hold them accountable, and I can have time to train and mentor and coach them and motivate and inspire and talk to them like a person. And then I can enforce the systems. So where are you on all these things? I got to have software. Got to continually upgrade our software and our job cost tracking modules. So what are we going to do, right? So let's just close out with a couple thoughts here on marketing. Let me just stop for a minute and check to see if I have any chats. Nope, no chats. So let's keep going here. First of all, top reasons contractors don't grow and don't make higher margins. What do you think it is? There's no sales plan. There's no estimating strategy except bid and then cut the margin. There's no plan to generate better customers. There's no plan to set yourself apart from your competition. There's no ongoing branding program going on. I just got 2 emails this morning from these really great contractors sending me their monthly newsletter, telling us all the great stuff they're doing for their clients and their expertise and how great their people are. Are you doing that? And they're stuck on what? The low bid treadmill. They just keep running and running and running in circles, hoping it gets better. So what's your strategy? Why don't you make high margins? Maybe you do, and I hope you do, and I didn't mean to insult you if you do, but what could you do to do better? You know, you got to have a winning plan to win high margin customers and contracts if you want to make higher margins. And you got to stop hoping and waiting. That's not a winning plan. And so I got to have, number one, I got to get focused in the area of getting more work, higher margin. I got to focus. So if I sit down with you, we're doing a strategic plan, we're going to say, what's your focus? What kind of work do you want to do? Let's say 2-3 years from now, what do you want to be known as? What do you want to be the best at? What do you want to be recognized? What kind of customers would want to call you to do all their work? That's what I call my focus, my business focus. So you can sell and market, or you can wait for bids. So I got to have a sales focus. I got to stop, just make a decision. I got to stop bidding cheap work against too many competitors. Just got to stop. Now I might keep some because I got to keep the doors open. I got to stop. That can't be my priority goal. We get so busy bidding cheap work, we don't have time to go get better work. We're on the treadmill, the hamster wheel. We got to have a plan to go attack high margin, loyal customers. Then I can build relationships. I got to have a plan of attack. You can't just talk about it. You got to go do it. 1 or 2 a week. Got to go see 1 or 2 people a week, face to face. Whoever your best salesperson is, it's probably you. Got to go see your best customers at least every 2 to 3 months, face to face. Thank them, take them to a ball game, have some fun. Take them to a whatever you want to take them to. Do something fun. We got to think about diversification, adding more job types. What else could you do in new services? I can tell you in my business, I was pretty much an industrial building, office building, concrete tilt-up warehouse builder and multi-tenant, and did a lot of mini warehouses. And that was my specialty. When the industrial market stopped many years ago in my area, actually the whole country, the only thing left was retail. I'd never done one. I went out and hired the best retail guy I could find, paid double what I should have, or what I wanted to pay, and we became one of the top retail clients during the slowdown in industrial construction. I ended up building 25 Costco stores, Price Clubs, all the Kmarts, the Home Depots, the Walmarts, and it became great because I was willing to invest and diversify. What are you willing to invest and diversify into? I've got to seek really hard jobs to get in front of. Port of Long Beach, it takes a long time to get there, but once you're in, you're in. They only got 3 bidders, and they don't award on price. They award on qualifications and value. So I want to get in there. How do I do that? I got to go down there and get on my knees and wear knee pads and beg to get on these lists and buy my way in with small job, cheap work, and learn to get to know the guys and learn their systems. And pretty soon I'm one of their preferred. I got to focus on my niche and my expertise. You know, I want to be retail. I want to be in medical. I want to be in power plant work. One of my clients in Texas, he focuses in on the generators. A lot of these factories have generators. So he became the provider and installer of certain kind of generators in certain facilities, and then he gets in the door for the whole facility. accurate estimates. I got to really get my estimating dialed in. My goal is my bid markup is my final markup. I'm not trying to beat my markup because my markup's accurate and no missed items ever. So I've got a strategy to do that. I could show you that. We don't have time here. And next, I got to be very aggressive on my bid follow-up. And I want to meet my customers before I bid. That's the key. If I can't meet them, how am I going to convince them to use us? They're going to use who they already like, unless I'm stupid low. And number 9, I got to do more than the minimum. I got to add more value. I've got to give more to get more. So what are you doing about these top 9 things to think about, right? Okay, so what's your strategy? That's the key. So years ago, I made a strategy in my business, my contracting business, that I wanted to have 6 to 8 really, really, really good loyal customers. I had 3 or 4. I wanted to double it. So I just made a strategy. My goal is to get 8 customers and we do half their work. And that's all I focused on. And we just stopped bidding stupid work, low bid work, and we just focused on winning the customers. And eventually we came out of the end of the tunnel with a lot of good customers and a lot of regular work. And it was focus. It was my strategy. What's your strategy? Keep bidding until you win some work. And so my goal is to find and attract profitable customers. So they'd call me first. I'm driving down the freeway and they get, hey, George, can you come to a meeting tomorrow? We just signed a lease with Amco International in Anaheim. We're going to build them a building. You want to be our contractor? Heck yeah. Can you be here at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning? Yeah, I'll be there. That's what I want. I want those calls. I want them to give me more work than my competitors. I want to get more jobs at my price. I want them to be loyal to me because I'm a loyal friend with them. The guy who called me, take him to the ball game, take him to the Angel game, the Dodger game, the Rams game, whatever, is what it takes. He's my pal. Try to build a friendly relationship with him. So he'll negotiate with me and he'll give me the last look. That's what I want. So how do I do that? I got to do more than just bid and everybody's good. Everybody does good work, on time, quality at the right price and all that. Everybody does that, but I want more. So what do you want? I got to offer more. I got to be proactive. I got to stop waiting for jobs to bid, right? So there's certain things to increase profitable sales. First of all, we can go after all kinds of jobs. So the first thing I got to make a decision, only bid jobs I want and only bid jobs I can win. I'm not going to bid every job and hope. The ones I have the best chance. That means I've already met the owner. I know who they are. I know what their criteria is. I know they like us. I just finally made a rule. If I can't meet the owner, I'm not going to bid it. There's no way I'm giving a proposal without meeting the owner. I'm not bidding it through some architect or engineer. I'm bidding it only if I can meet the decision maker before the job. Then I'm going to aggressively follow up. I'm going to offer them suggestions, solutions, value engineering. I'm going to email them. I'm going to call them. I'm sending pictures, do whatever it takes to get a meeting. The goal is to get a meeting. Meet the decision maker pre-bid. Only seek jobs with not low ball, but few competition. I'll bid a job with 2 or 3, but that's it. Otherwise, what's the point? I'm not going to make any money. And I'm going to seek higher margin work. I'm going to find out where the high margin work, hospital work. That's hard to get in, but once you're in for life. You're in for life. One of my clients does surgery centers. That's all he does. He's the king of surgery centers in California. What are you the king of? He does them all. He does at least half of them. Build loyal customers. I want to focus on that. And I want to find steady work. I want regular, ongoing, steady work where somebody's always going to be doing something. Hospital's always doing something. Manufacturing companies are always doing something. They're always upgrading, right? So, and then I've got to always ask for the contract, always ask for the order. ABC, always be closing. You've heard that, sales 101. And I see most contractors never ask for the contract, turn in a bid and hope it's low. And they wait. Hey, how do I look? Well, you look better if you cut your bid. Okay, I will. How much? Hey, I'm sorry, the other guy already cut it in front of you. All right. So be active, be proactive. You got a choice. You can be proactive, or you can wait for the phone to ring, or you can hope customers call you to bid. Hey, we haven't got any requests to bids lately. Well, when's the last time you called them? Or you can be stupid cheap to win work. So those are your choices. Or develop those relationships, go after better customers, better work, customers, target high margin customers and projects, select, sorry. So that would include select bid lists, high barrier to entry, pre-qual, performance award ratings, safety standards, professional standards, employee standards, training standards. That's what I want. I got to go after new customers. I got to have a target list. I'm going to go see them. I'm going to go attack them. I'm going to send them stuff every week, every month. I'm dating my customers. I got to get them to go to lunch with me, take them to the movies, send them flowers. I've got to find new customer types, job types, new markets. I need to try new things. What are you willing to try that's new? And of course, I got to offer more services. If I'm doing work for the water company, why aren't I fixing all their broken meters? I get so many clients. Oh, we don't really do that. I don't really want regular work. It's just hard. It's too much. It's too much energy. Okay, keep being cheap. Or I can do something different. What do you do that's different than anybody else in town? What do you do that's different? Are your trucks painted pink? Your guys all in uniforms? What do you do that's different? Makes you look like a pro. Makes you look like, I want to try those guys. What are you doing to differentiate? So you got to add more value or stop selling low prices and offer more than the minimum. Offer more than the minimum. So what are we going to do to build loyal customers and be proactive and start selling? All right. You got to be more than a low priced, low bid commodity. So I got to get laser focused on what? You can fill in your own blank. What do you want to do better, different than anybody else? I want to do something better than every other competitor. What do I want to be known for? The best at what? I want to go after the right high margin customers, projects, and contracts. Do I have a list of what they are? You need to make a list. What are you the recognized expert in? If I fly into town and I need somebody in an expertise, who do I call? Whether it's a subcontractor specialty type of work, type of project, type of building, whether it's a general contract with all sorts of technology. I spoke a few weeks ago at a conference of they call them specialty service contractors. These are people who do all the high-tech wiring in buildings. It's really high-end tech work. It's almost like they're technology people. They do the lighting, the sound systems, the fire alarms, the smoke detectors, the locking systems, really high-end electronics. There was a lot of rich people in that conference. 400 people were there, and they're all pretty well off. Why? Because they're in a specialty that electricians don't want to do, because my guys don't know how to do it. So do you have a competitive edge? What is it? What can you do to get the highest prices? What are some things you can easily negotiate or win or get repeat contracts? So what can you do now? I can start weeding out the losers, the slugs, the sloths, the difficult customers, the bad job types. I got to start saying no. One of your biggest decisions is, should we bid? A lot of people just don't really think about it much. They don't have a criteria. How many competitors? How many jobs have I done for these people? Do they do regular work? Will they negotiate? Will they let me meet with them? There's about 6 questions you could ask. And what are you doing about getting rid of your slugs, your personal in-house slugs, poor performers, bad attitude, non-team players, problem players, people that cause stress and lower your prices, lower your margins because they make your productivity go bad. All right? So you can sit and wait for higher margins to get easier, or you can do something about it, right? You can generate more new, better business now. You could think about having a grand reopening with a new department that does higher end work. No marketing and sales is not a strategy. I got to stop waiting for low bid work. I got to be proactive and stop waiting for the phone to ring. I got to stop using builder plan rooms and general contractors to send me bid requests that are always cheap and I never get any work from them. Or I can do whatever I have to do. I need a proactive business development, sales and marketing and estimating plan. So that's the key here. What can I do? What can I do to find better customers? Remember, estimators are usually your not best salespeople. Who's the best salespeople in your company? That person needs to be tasked with get high margin work. Okay? The goal of your bid is to get a meeting so you can negotiate and sit down. So as we close out this section on getting higher margin work, let's talk about what you should do. Just make a decision. I have to work different to get different results. What am I willing to do different? I've got to change me and my strategy as a leader in my company. I've got to think different. I got to win different. I got to do different. I've got to change my daily routine and change my focus. So to grow profitability, build a better business, and win higher margin customers and contracts, what do I need to do different, change, and improve? That's the question I want to ask you as we close out this section of our webinar today. All right? So think about. Now, if I can help you, I'd love to help you. I've got I'll do a free session with you. Anytime you want, just give me a call. Give me an email. We'll set up a time where we can get on the phone, get on the Zoom, and look at your strategy and your systems and talk about ways that I can improve, help you improve, not do it for you, but help you improve your bottom line. All right, so give me a call. The other, last but not least, I have all my templates are online. Just go to my Hard Hat Biz Coach website. They're all there. They're all available. If you want a discount code, send me an email and we'll talk, and I'll give you the code. Thanks for being here for this part 1.